there still is a government for some reason. Wouldn't enforcing national security be the only reason? Comment below. Now, that doesn't mean no big contracts to military suppliers. I'm saying, doesn't it fall under the federal government's purview to ensure that the border of the country is secure? If not, I would argue you then support anarchy. So this is what is happening right now. And in Texas, by the way, they are effectively sending a message to California, Arizona, or New Mexico.
They're coming.
And California, not to be outdone, responded with the following.
Están aquí.
I guess they're already there.
I don't speak Spanish.
Yeah, but they're here.
Is that what? Okay, good.
It's like the poltergeist.
I don't speak Spanish now on principle.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Good. We're being invaded. It's better.
Have a national language. How about that? That's one of it's racist. Okay. Hey, by the way, Mexico top diplomat. What's your policy as it relates to immigration in Mexico? What's your policy of migrant citizens in your country? How does it relate to voting? How does it relate to public protest? How does it relate to owning waterfront property? Why are we the only ones in the United States who are expected to bear the burden for the rest of the world? And you cannot hold these two positions. All cultures are created equal. There is no superior country, and everyone has a birthright to come to the United States if they want to, because clearly it's better than.
Hey, Claiborne.
You cannot refer to these countries as shitholes, but we have to accept them because they're fleeing awful places. When it's not based on principle, progress for progressivism's sake, it always unravels. It can never be consistent. So what are we seeing right now is again, the latest decisions, it basically just says, Texas, pause, you can't enforce your own laws until the constitutionality, that's a tough word, very big words, the biggest, until that is determined, and that is going to be determined at least the first time in Austin court.
Yes. Then it could get sent to the Fifth Circuit, and then ultimately this obviously would arrive at the Supreme Court. Because either side is seeming to back down. Right. So I hope that's what happens.
It's also why I have no faith in the justice system.
Yes.
It's not black-white, to be clear. It's just, it depends on the judge that day. The fact that you can have a judge who says, actually, it's unconstitutional to have borders, or have another judge say, actually, you have the constitutional right, as the state of Texas, to enforce these laws if the federal government has abandoned its post. You can have the exact same case, same lawyers, and it depends on how the judge feels that day. And this is why we need to get political activism out of the judicial branch.
Well, and specifically in this case, it's inaction, right? So the Fifth Circuit basically punted this out at least a month, probably just a little over a month. And the only reason that they're hearing arguments today on this is because of the Supreme Court's decision saying, hey, you guys have to sort this out at the lower level. So they would have just let this problem continue on and on and on. And so when we're talking about monthly figures of 350,000 or 300,000 coming into the United States, how many of those are coming into Texas? Well, we know how many are coming through Eagle Pass now. None, because they actually solved the problem. But how many are coming from 100,000, 100,000 in Texas? Maybe more? That's that many more people that are now here, and that much worse of a problem. If you could have heard the arguments today from the very beginning, why didn't you schedule it for today from the very beginning? Yeah. Stop punting this stuff down the road and start hearing the cases that matter to Americans right now, because maybe Laken Riley's alive. Maybe if sanctuary cities weren't a thing, Laken Riley would be alive. Maybe if people called ICE when they had somebody who was actually committing a crime and said, hey, that person needs to go and we don't care what the Mexican senior official said on X.
Okay, I'm back. I don't know how much you heard. 5:30 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. I worked yesterday. Couldn't be on my phone. Shit hit the fan at work. And now today is gonna be about picking up the pieces the best I can.
It's on the border. What's the other Mexican franchise? Not Taco Bell. What's the other Mexican franchise? What do you have? Chewy's is one. There's different ones all across. Chewy's.
Got a nice perspective about voters, though.
Chili's? No, not Chili's.
It's funny. I worked there as an election official, and I don't even vote.
There's another franchise like Chi-Chi.
Kind of weird, but
I love Chi-Chi.
I like Chi-Chi's too. What?
Yeah, Spanish food.
yeah.
Not a Chi-Chi guy.
Not a Chi-Chi guy.
I mean, that's a normal day for Callahan when he's on the road, right?
No me gusta.
Yeah.
All right.
I got a lot of catch. I don't ever really get days off.
Talk about this today because no one cares about-
I got to play catch up now because I was off Monday and Tuesday.
But I will say this: I've seen this with a lot of people who are on.
Monday I had to help set up.
Whether it's CNN,
Hey, someone somewhere. Why don't you have a
whether it's,
wrench?
ABC, for example, people like at the View, who have tried to make
There you
these
go.
things work online, their content, and they're worse off for having done it. Right? You don't have an entire crew of makeup, writers, and talking about commercial breaks. So you have this safety net of never having to discuss something for longer than 6 minutes. And they say, well, you know what?
I'm gonna grab coffee real quick.
It's like you are
And I got to
worse
go
off.
by our corporate office and pick up some tickets for one of our clients.
I know she was-
Some opening day tickets for baseball.
And she does some really good stuff out there.
Some hockey tickets for me.
I'm trying to think of some other examples. Megan Kelly's doing those.
And then I got to go up to Monroe and
She's still kind of doing sex stuff, though, so
try and replace some people
sometimes you see someone and say, oh,
before they
unfiltered.
fire us as a
Sometimes
staffing
you see
agency.
someone unfiltered, and it's like, oh, they were using someone else's talking points. Guess which one, Donovan?
What if you have to deal with the comment section for the first time?
Yeah, exactly.
I love that you said the makeup part because when the Don Lemon video.
Well,
plays,
technically
you
it's-
understand why.
Yeah. Yes.
It's horrific.
I'm working virtually 3 jobs all the time, so I just kind of added that. I mean, I got paid to do that yesterday, but man, I don't think that any amount of money is enough for what
So this was an interview.
what that day was
More
like.
importantly, Don Lemon does
Holy
not
crap.
understand the point
And I was
of Elon Musk.
moved into one of the most
That Don Lemon- there's such
blue districts or blue precincts
And Brian-
because they didn't have enough declared reds.
I was just thinking of Brian Setzer. It was Brian
I mean, you have to if you want to be able to do that, you got to declare one side or another if you want to actually be able to do anything besides stand there and usher. So of course I declared red, and because my local one, you know, out here in the boonies is all red. They asked me if I would go to another one, so I had to, instead of driving 5 minutes to the precinct, I had to drive 35 minutes to the precinct. It was definitely an adventure. I'll be right back. I'm just gonna grab some coffee. Listen to
That is, yes, an issue, but it could become an issue.
Crowder.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
Most doctors now are white, and there are lots of mistakes in medicine. So you're saying that
So just make them all black guys.
my doctors have bad medical care? I'm trying to understand your logic here when it comes to DEI because there's no actual evidence of what you're saying.
Pause
Majority
quickly.
of doctors
That's the reverse Nirvana fallacy. That's the hey, well, it hasn't happened yet, so let's just upend everything. That's the problem with a lot of the entire progressive movement. It's destroy for the sake of destruction with no actual solution in place. You just saw it with the border. Well, so we haven't seen it yet. So wouldn't the solution just be replace all the white doctors with black doctors? No. Continue.
White, are you saying that and there's still these inequities, right? And there's still mistakes. Are you blaming DEI for that?
No, I'm very basically saying that if we lower standards of what it takes to become a board-certified surgeon or, you know, an oncologist or something where the kind of disease we're talking about, if you make a mistake, causes someone to die, then more people will die than if we don't lower the standards. Therefore, we should not lower the standards.
So we'll go by point. First, Dylan says most doctors are white. Forgot about Dre, and that's something that we thought he would know. He should know better.
That's true. That was more of an honorary title.
Now, this is a tough one.
DEI is a relatively new thing.
This is a tough one.
You know?
I don't know at what point you're not like retarded, but you're functionally retarded. I don't know legally. This is why I was conflicted about doing this segment because no one likes to see you beat up on a retard.
It's bad for business.
Yeah, it's bad for business. It's clear that Don Lemon does not hit the like. Let's start with this. Hit the like button if you're glad that Elon fired Don Lemon's ass. Now, let's continue before we get to the statistics, Don Lemon also showed that he does not understand hypotheticals.
A surgeon in training is asked to do a series of operations under the supervision of a senior surgeon, and they get a bunch of those operations wrong. If that happens, and yet they are still approved to be a surgeon, the probability that someone will die, I think, at some point is high.
Okay, I understand that, but that's a hypothetical. That doesn't mean it's happening.
If we lower standards, people will die.
But why respond to something or put something out there?
All right. Why is it so quiet? What happened? What happened?
Oh, well, we don't have any evidence that this stuff has happened, so why prepare? Okay, well, this bank has never been robbed. Maybe we shouldn't have counters. Maybe we should... Proof glass.
And of course, this interview has made international headlines everywhere, and that's something that that's a good photo. Now,
All right.
Let me. And it's true because it hasn't
Man,
happened yet. Now that is true.
You could definitely tell 7-Eleven has merged with Speedway. You get in line there, and there's nothing but miniature alcohol bottles
But we have to make an
on
interview
both sides.
that we have.
Ah, shit.
Let me give you an example. Black Americans, and of course, Black Americans are the primary beneficiary of affirmative action in college. They drop out of STEM fields once they're in college at almost 2 times the rate of everyone else. So the overall dropout rate is 35%. The black STEM field dropout rate is 65%.
That's weird. Lemon was saying almost every doctor he knows is white. Almost every doctor I know is Indian and named Patel.
In a way that can be quantified, right, as far as test scores, as far as effectively their resume going into college. You're actually harming them by putting them at a disadvantage competitively. And then that ends up harming them through wasted time. So 2 times the dropout rate. Now, this would be, for an example, let's say that.
I mean, they're decent doctors.
2 times the dropout rate.
It's just he's
If you
wrong.
apply affirmative action in the
Maybe the old
professional sector,
retiring
no
doctors
longer
that
education,
nobody can
now
afford
you're
unless you're
applying
rich
it
and
to
have
their
the best
getting a
insurance in
job.
the world.
The inference would be
But the ones that
they would be more likely to have a
are available to me
failure
and my
rate to some degree.
economic group. Ooh, damn, that's a nail sticking out of that wood there. I'm ready to run it over. Fuck.
It's kind of a big deal.
Get into the STEM field, get into twice the dropout rate
Hazard.
in medical school if it's affirmative action. Apply
On
affirmative
road.
action to the actual
Object.
medical office, making an inference. That's not a, you could die, or at least get sick. You could end up looking like Don Lemon.
That's true. Nobody wants to look like Don Lemon. But don't think that medical mistakes are not a big factor. It's the 3rd leading cause of death in the United States. Sure. Like, this is massive. So if you screw with
And the exit that's going to get that would get me there 15 minutes faster is closed, so I get to take
So before we get to some of
the
the
Anthony Trail all the way there, which is fine.
We're just saying, wait.
Take me an hour and a half to get to work.
You need to be the best person for the job. And then now let me say, well, there's still a lot of issues.
Hey, JC.
Your solution is
Good morning.
more black people. Let me provide other solutions. And by the way, I'm not saying less black people. Better qualifications and standards. Now, you guys-
Now, my actual physician, because I go to the VA, is
That's funny, that's funny.
he's actually a black guy.
Not the best bet, no, maybe not. No.
But I think he's one of the best doctors. Well, he's a PA, and he's one of the best docs I've ever had.
Come on. And by the way, my doctor.
He fucking listens,
Tremendous, but he was
gives me his actual thoughts versus what is recommended generally.
Good job, become a doctor.
He's not afraid to tell the truth.
They say make money, but I say these are people. They have feelings. They come and scam. It's true. It's true. I'm just saying. So, solution: more black people, or solution: higher standards. You comment. You can comment. That's based on. This is why when people say, I take everything on an issue-by-issue basis. Sure, absolutely. You should take into account the data of the issue. But this is the fundamental difference in worldview. He uses the word
That's right.
inequities. Okay, this is the fundamental difference in worldview. Your solution is going to automatically...
I think he's still active duty, too.
The solution, by the way, of people like Thomas Sowell, who happens to be black, the solution of better standards. Okay, that's the solution. Because inequity and equality, you cannot support equality and support forced equity, to be clear.
He started off as an Army medic before he went to PA school, which is what I was supposed to do until Clinton cut the class in half.
Equity is ensuring, is mandating outcomes. through the force of the government, through the iron fist of the government. Equality, freedom, equity, fascism. You can dress it up however you want. No, I'm enforcing equity in the name of black people. It doesn't matter. You are rigging the system. You cannot be a freedom-supporting American.
I will say I like the way that Ohio. Mine is the
While
one.
saying you want to correct
It's embarrassing at times. Yeah, depending on what they have to do, I guess I can see that. But I'd rather have a small woman finger up my butt than a big man. Sorry. Sorry, not sorry. Just about every time I go in at my age, that's what they do. They check that.
Whites made up 63%. So he said most doctors, I guess that's true, white. Asians, 20%. They make up about 3% of the population. Hispanics, 6.9%, blacks, 5.7%. So are black people underrepresented? Sure. Aren't Asian Americans overrepresented? Absolutely. Now, I wouldn't say overrepresented meaning that's wrong. It means that there are more Asians in comparison to their population portion here in America, their percent of the population.
In fact, I'm due this year. I'm gonna have to make an appointment. They're probably gonna scope me again this year. It's been about 6 years since my last one.
Can become doctors at a higher rate than white people. By the way, don't know if you know this, Jews have been persecuted in this country at one point in time. A lot of Jewish doctors that would fold into white. Hey, you've been persecuted. You're a minority in this country, but there is a higher percentage of your minority population being represented in the medical field, which means that you can do it. We're looking at the exact same statistics. Let me give you some new ones in 2023, 2024. Those being enrolled, accepted in medical schools. White, 41%, Asian, 26%, Hispanic, 6%, black, 8%. There's an interesting thing right there. The white numbers are going down, surprise. The Asian numbers are going up. That actually is a surprise. This one was sarcastic. The second one is surprising considering that they literally have guards in front of Harvard going, "No Asians, stop!" Hispanic, black, still the same percentage.
Black went up a little bit. But this is one of those things that I don't care. Unless it's 100% one and zero of all the rest of them, then I really don't care. I just want the most qualified people. And by the way,
yeah, I went through a phase between my
job.
I had a nurse practitioner assigned to me at the VA originally for the longest time, and she was great.
Choose not to go into a.
And then I got passed around during COVID.
Asians becoming doctors. Maybe it's
Most of the time, they wouldn't even let me come in.
Maybe become successful. Maybe in other races, it's hey, become another kind of professional, become a sports star, become a singer, become whatever.
But then after COVID, I landed with this guy, and he's pretty cool.
That doesn't kill me when I get a colonoscopy. Right. I'm just saying it should be a simple.
And you're at that age.
You can talk to him like a regular dude, which is, to me, that's a big thing.
All the way up.
Yep.
A lot of times, doctors or even PAs and nurse practitioners, they get that complex, superiority complex, where they think you're an idiot
Do some prison time, doc.
and don't keep up with the latest medical stuff.
Becoming more woke. And I would ask you to answer this. Does anyone out there actually believe that there is a discrimination against black people in the medical field in the United States today where they cannot get jobs? Or do you think it's more likely that they, of course, would readily accept a black doctor, all things being equal, above a white doctor or an Asian doctor? Comment below. That's you making an inference.
Well, the VA, they don't
give you some stats.
really do it that way. They'll give you whatever medication you want almost,
They
unless
do
it's
emphasize DEI, again, diversity, equity,
you know.
inclusion.
And that too. I don't want that. I want someone who's going to give me what's best for me.
Because that's important for an anesthesiologist.
Was in your head? Oh my God.
Structural racism and health equity.
Mm-hmm. University of Minnesota's School of Health.
That's nuts.
They post a land acknowledgement statement.
For the Dakota people, I'm sure they're.
Was he just a general practitioner, or was he actually an obstetrician?
How does this help with my acid reflux?
They're not trying to fix that.
No, they're not trying to fix that one. They're trying to make sure.
There's a lot of reasons for that. I mean,
Oh, that's right in between.
a lot of recommendations, the least of it being in your head. I mean, why do 70% of the people that get pregnant have it if it's in your head?
There was this effort actually to actively.
That's
stop
stupid.
hiring white male surgeons at the Duke University.
Man, that pissed me off.
So
If
here is
a doctor said that to my wife,
this is Duke surgical resident Vignesh
just stump water. That sounds like a drill sergeant there.
bemoaning having to treat conservative patients.
You know, the thing is, we are in the south, right? And unlike a lot of the hospitals in the northeast or in the west, we serve a very southern population. This is not a VIP.
Oh God.
People are not like flying in from Qatar to get treated here. We treat.
And it's funny too, because you know the nurses still at the VA, they push all the vaxes and everything. And you know, when I talked to him, I explained to him. He's like, why haven't you been taking any vaxes? I said, I'm not going to take any of these mRNA shots. I said, if it's a standard vaccination, you know, that you really think I need, I said, and you want to talk to me about it, I'll have a discussion with you. But I'm not taking any of these mRNA shots. I said, you know, I'm not going to do it.
And it is wonderful to treat such a diverse
I'm not going to do it.
People in every regard.
You know what?
And that's
I can catch a strike for that if I want to.
I had in my suburbs and other places.
And he has no issues with that. He understands. I mean,
Okay. I don't like him.
that's one thing that's cool about the VA. They don't make any more you know, if you get a good VA doctor, they don't make more money depending on what they do for you. So
it's all black patients. Are you saying it's a bad thing to treat?
You know, they either care or they don't.
Community because of where you happen to be located. Right. Because so many hospitals are like that.
Yeah.
They're in these different areas, and it's just like it's wonderful to treat diverse people. I hate it when MAGA people come. It doesn't.
And they
matter.
just
It's
redid
a
all
person
this. Why the hell
who
is there
needs
already a
medical
lane shut
attention,
down?
Period.
Think about where we are. These doctors, these institutions are saying we have to take into account.
This was
race,
open
you have to take
yesterday,
into account
both
background, you have to
lanes.
take
Oh,
into
they're
account
planting
community, you have to
fucking
take into
trees.
account
Okay.
income. All we're saying is doctors
Yeah, there you go.
treat
Plant
sick
a bunch of fucking
patients.
trees along here so it tears up the road.
Stop the racism.
That's
By the way,
smart.
the Medical Association. They're
Oh
also-
my God, that's so smart.
Now again.
Yes, plant trees right in that little skinny median so the roots just come up and tear up the road.
Right, the idea of DEI, health equity, right? This is relatively new.
What a
There's some
fucking waste of
push,
money.
Which would mean that they are displacing a different standard. Right? Before DEI and health equity, they're saying you need to place an emphasis on this as opposed to what? Well, this brings us to fast fact 4. Medical schools, hospitals are given
Branches
far less
falling on the
weight
road.
to
Oh
actual
yeah.
test scores and objective metrics. So the Association of American
But it'll look
Psychologists,
nice.
they actually want less reliance on GPA and the MCAT scores for applicants. Right? They recommend a holistic review of med school.
I mean, look at that.
applicants.
It's like
And
it's
here's
literally
the
like a
quote. It says,
4 foot wide
"Consider each applicant
center
individually by
center
balancing
median
their
there.
academic metrics with experiences and attributes."
It looks like at least one or 2 year old trees, so they're gonna start rooting right away.
Sending a photo of themselves.
Yes.
I wonder if they have some kind of barrier.
It used to be, hey, you would,
I mean, that I would understand if they have like a barrier that goes down deep to keep them from rooting under the road.
Send in
But
a headshot and
man,
let's do a face-to-face interview. Melanin, you're in. There's also a push to start using the United States medical licensing exam.
oh yeah, go ahead,
Using
swing
those
out there.
scores in consideration. Using those scores at all. I know this is true. It's available at outlook.com in granting residency to med students.
More barrels going down.
And this is why. They say
More
why.
barrels.
So again, there is kind of, they will accuse you on the right of A or B thinking, of black or white thinking. They will accuse you of that. But hold on a second. Test scores? Race. Test scores? Race. And this is their own argument. They said that using scores results in racial inequities because blacks are 3 to 6 times less likely to get a residency interview if the scores are used. So they advocate, and by the way, this should instill confidence the next time that you have to undergo anesthesia. What they advocate is rather than taking scores
job security.
into consideration.
Hell, with the
just to
materials they
pass
use
the
for roads, is job security enough up here in the north? I mean,
Doctors that have white scores too, by the way. Just so you know, I don't want a white doctor to fail the test. Okay?
there are materials out there that can withstand the hot and cold, but they won't. And then, yes, it's more expensive, but once it's down, it'll last 15, 20 years. This shit's not going to last 5 years. This is blacktop. It's
And
blacktop.
they also, by the way, they've already modified some of the rules to shrink the racial gap proactively by adding, quote, communication and interpersonal skills. Now, I'm not even sure that that's going to help.
Yeah, you're right. And guess what? Grasses are better for the environment than most trees anyway.
Designed to block some Asians. I'm not going to lie. Test scores, race, your life.
You know, blacktop down south is fine because it's hot most of the time, and
Think about
you know,
this is the world we live in.
it settles.
Let's bring us to another fact, okay? The polls
Well, that's what this country's all about, is indulgences, right?
Now, you probably don't really care about the race of your doctor. Okay, the polls as anybody else. So, UPenn patients who are satisfied with their
I don't know if I've ever heard of a Bradford pear.
When the doctor
Are they a nuisance?
The number was about 82%, and the patient and the doctor were of a different race.
Probably drop all kinds of crap on the underneath them.
Insignificant.
But we'll kill you just because we have people out in the field that maybe don't have the right skills. But hey, we got to make up that 5%.
Well, I would say that if it's 87 and 82, both are pass scores, so the rest is irrelevant.
Change that.
And they stink. Yeah.
It's a pass or fail.
You know what? I am absolutely. You know what, Don Lemon? I'll make a deal with you right now. I think we should have 13% of the population on the black community be doctors. 13%, right? That's what they make up the community. As soon as you represent 13% of the violent crime in the United States, if we're going to put everything back to where it's supposed to be from every single group on every single metric that we possibly have,
I mean, isn't that what government's for? Is to
every single thing has to be 13%. Otherwise,
find new and stupid reasons to waste the tax money they steal from us.
People are going to be pissed that I said it.
That's why I did. That's one of the main reasons I did that Stringer stream the other day on my main channel. I wanted to show you guys
Well, I don't know, but the point is it can't be a decimal.
that little round table.
Otherwise, I wouldn't apply the bad freedom of choice.
They're talking about new ways to just waste money.
63% of NBA players are what? And sprinters.
Imagine putting this into sports.
Yeah, you know what? At the Olympics, they might be 63% white. They just all knows.
Yes, exactly.
Sweden's not bringing home the gold, you know?
Yes.
I will say Ohio's got some pretty secure elections, though. I was gonna wait till Dirty got in here. Because he wanted to hear about it. But the check-in process, I like it. They've actually stepped it up. I mean, they still do mail-ins, but
Or they may choose not to. Enforce 13%. The Olympics. Swimming pool. Make it 13% black. Go. You'll have deaths.
Also, a lot of Hispanic people identify as white. It's like a
Yes.
they actually do signature matching. Even in person, they do signature matching with
I
ID.
think those numbers are a little bit off by
Yeah.
percentage.
I always thought that was weird with Hispanic and Hispanic non-white. Like when you purchase a firearm, you have to state twice.
Yeah, that's weird.
It is weird to me. You know, that's one that I'll give to you. It seems a little discriminatory. So, what does this kind of show us here? It comes down to your worldview. Do you believe in equality or do you believe in equity? Do you believe that medical students and doctors should be determined by their scores, by their
We had about
or
a 15%, just over 15%
Do
turnout
you believe that there should be
yesterday
holistic, meaning an
in the
approach
precinct I
looking
was in,
at sort of,
which is pretty good for a primary.
quantifiable, nebulous variables or tests, performance, mortality rate? Do you agree with most Americans who don't actually care about the race of your doctor? And here's something too. I look at this and I see something that sees discrimination in everything. I look at it and I say, wow, you know what? This is
Later,
This
CCT.
is actually something coming to fruition. The American dream.
I'm gonna see.
Like I said,
Even though I'm gonna be probably super busy at the office
2% of the population.
when I get up to Monroe, I'll probably go live just because I haven't been in a couple days.
7% of the population is Asian.
Well, you went over? Go
26%
ahead. Oh shit, you're
of
fucked.
enrollees.
Nope, too
The
late.
first doctor in the United States to separate conjoined twins was Dr. Ben Carson, who's also a professional lullaby singer. Very
Very
good.
good.
So I look, that is an example of class mobility.
Yeah.
And the left wants you to well, Asians haven't. Do you know about the railroads? You know about the internment camps in World War II? You think in World War II, Japanese people. Sorry, do I sound like Uncle Mark?
Sound
like you were there.
You think in You haven't seen what I've seen, bro.
He's doing your RFK impression.
Yes.
God,
Oh, where's that at?
Conjoined twins.
it's unbearable.
If I had the opportunity.
That's pretty cool.
I got the Kennedy albatross around my neck. They wouldn't accept me to medical school. That's not true at all.
Nebraska. Well, that's pretty cool.
Nick Nolte's stand down. Nice.
Wow.
Despite you making up 2% of the population, gosh, think about the rate, 14% of doctors. Good for you, Jewish Americans. Despite you having probably your parents, your grandparents being put in internment camps, you now make up 26% of doctors. Now look at that. Look at these exact statistics and say that's a beautiful thing.
How many people are immigrants?
Exactly.
Here on visas or here on
Legally.
I would be willing to bet that far more of those Asian American doctors are immigrants, either first generation or second generation, than black Americans. I would be willing to bet. I don't have the statistics in front of me.
It's a beautiful thing too. Not the comparison, but the fact that that's the American dream. Yeah, come here, make a life. stats look about?
Those numbers show that there's clearly a choice, and different groups of people make different choices. Now you can look at all of that and say, racism, we need more blacks. That's really all Don Lemon is saying. He's not saying we need more Asians. He's not saying we need more Jews. He's not saying we need more Hispanic. He's not saying any of those things. He's not saying we need more Cuban Americans. He's not saying we need more Brazilian Americans. He's not saying we need more Swedish. No, he's saying more blacks. Needs more blacks. With no justification other than blacks. I think that's racist. By the way, none of this happens without you. Mug Club, $89. ladderwithcredit.com/Mug Club. And tomorrow we have an undercover investigative journalism piece that will be coming out. Do we want to run this New York Times Gaslight before Mug Club? Or
No.
I went over time.
We'll do it.
This is what happens. Is I go over time. Josh, you're going to be at Bricktown Comedy Club this Friday?
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm kind of allergies. Yeah, Friday I'll be better. Got a show at Tulsa. Should be fun.
You know, I got something that'll clear that right out.
You sound like I
We
feel.
need some clear.
That's what they
Got
did
it.
in the commercial. Ricola.
That's
But
awful.
it doesn't work. I do a great stuck on Band-Aid brand because Band-Aid stuck on me.
You do a Marlboro commercial?
I can do Oscar Mayer.
Please don't sing it. It's hurting. It hurts inside.
My hot dog has a first name. If you're watching on Rumble, first off, deodorant.
All right, let me go switch over to locals. He's switching to Mug Club. I'm hoping this run in and grab this stuff doesn't take too long. I know I'm going to see my boss if she's in there and she's going to want to talk to me for a second. But I already talked to her on the phone this morning when I was taking a shit, so. Oh, one thing they did announce earlier today on Crowder is that they're teaming up with predator poachers. Alex Rosen is predator poachers is going to be part of their investigative team. So they're probably going to. Alex has been trying so hard just to stay monetized because he keeps getting, kept getting kicked off of YouTube. I found out that Ohio's medical marijuana cards only cost a penny if you're a veteran. They say eventually they will be actually free, but for right now they still have to charge a little bit. Oh shit. Oh fuck, which way am I going? Okay, yeah, I'm going the right way. Fuck, almost freaked out there. Hey Brendan. Years. Real seafood. Not the dogs. Your boobs are huge.
It's a Pavlovian response. But urinating. YouTube urinating.
You're not leaving. I mean, you can, but
I didn't leave.
I'm saying you're not.
No, I didn't. I've been holding it. See, I'm a grown-ass man.
Thank you, grown-ass man.
There you go.
Firestein. By the way, the House is holding some hearings right now, and I'm not trying to bring up this lady, but right before they left an empty chair for Hunter Biden.
Oh, really?
Oh, that's awesome.
Let's hear Mrs. Hot
Drop the link.
Cover it.
Start of the hearing, House Oversight Chair Jim Comer offered a
That's young
possible
Meredith
new
from The Office.
explanation for why Biden was involved. Take a listen.
The protester in the background.
There are only two explanations for this.
Steer
The first is
clear.
that Joe Biden knows exactly what he's doing.
That guy looks like he was
Knows the
driving
handshake
in a
away
car
from
with a
his
flat roof that was way too low.
plausible deniability, or Joe Biden is being led around by his family and has no idea who he's meeting with or what message he is sending, and is truly an elderly man with a poor memory.
Well,
There's no other explanation. Either Joe Biden
All right,
is
I'll be right back.
complicit, or
I'll
Joe
tell you,
Biden.
this is just kind of more grandstanding.
I know.
Right now.
These impeachments aren't going to go anywhere. Like,
No, they're not going to go anywhere. And the media obviously is using this right now as a form of misdirection, Toolman, which is something they do often. It's just like, oh, let's bring a scene, nothing's happening. They'll say, so this is just obviously but they're the ones who helped create the dog and pony show. And then you have some Republicans who play right into it because they want to get some clicks and they want to get their Instagram Reels moment. And then people think, oh, this must just be another insignificant witch hunt. It is one of those situations where, depending on how they choose to cover it, they can alter perception. For example, they can alter perception into thinking, if they cover it intensely enough, that Donald Trump really must be guilty and that Hunter Biden, this is just something they're throwing spaghetti against the wall. It's misdirection is what it is. And it reminds me of when we had, speaking of misdirection, a magician come into the office. Remember that, Josh?
Oh, very well.
Yeah.
Gather round, gather round. Who wants to see a magic trick? I just need a volunteer. You, sir.
Me?
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't
You
think
like-
so, dude. I don't really like magic. It's not like my thing.
Nonsense. Everybody likes magic. I just need you to pull a card from the deck.
What do you think, boys? All right, what's the worst that can happen? What are you gonna make my wallet disappear?
I just need you to pull a card from the deck here.
All right. How about a gift card? You got a gift card in there?
No gift card, just regular deck of cards here. Just pull any card. All right. Up to the crown. Okay, and put it anywhere back in the deck. All right, now I just need you to take a look at the top here.
Okay.
A little closer.
Okay.
Little closer. Abracadabra.
We need better security measures in the office.
I don't think I remember that actually.
yeah, I know. I think I know
Yeah.
why.
That's why he was so bold in saying abracadabra before he committed the assault. He knew you wouldn't remember.
Ah, he knew.
Yeah.
Son of a
Did you clean that glass up though?
Someone did.
Thankfully.
Yeah. We made the glass disappear. So, I don't want to talk about the New York Times. Why? Because they irritate me, and I've been irritated enough today with Don Lemon and the border shit. Sorry.
Some of the stuff that he was asking for, apparently.
Yeah, penises.
I was going to say ridiculous, but that would play right into that, and I didn't want to do that.
It almost seemed like he didn't even expect to get it, or he just wanted to get fired and like,
Yeah.
and then
The
didn't
only-
expect his demands to be made public. So he's like making these crazy demands so that he would do this interview. Elon would fire him, and he'd be like, "Whoa, I
Yeah.
interviewed Elon Musk, and he fired me because he's a racist piece of shit."
Yes.
And then Elon's like, "No, here's your." That said you wanted to marry my first children, you know.
Sorry, Mr.
No,
Sensitive.
not married, just, do other things.
And that's what I'm trying to say. Triggered much? It's like, shut
Right.
up. Just
Right.
shut up. I don't think anyone's buying this anymore. Like, that's the beauty of it. And that is one thing I will say, win, lose, or draw here over the course of time. No one can fire me. And,
True.
Gerald, I guess I can fire you.
Yeah, for sure.
Can I?
I mean, you shouldn't.
What have I been doing this whole time?
Yes.
I have not
Wait,
signed
wait,
a
wait,
contract,
wait.
Oh, well.
So,
so I can't be fired either. But I can just be told not to come back.
Neither is that magician.
no.
No way.
I don't know how he got in here.
I was
We gotta
wondering
secure our borders.
when I was asked to answer line items on magician
Now you know. I mean,
with our accountant.
they don't grow on trees.
But
What did you
it
think
showed
it
up under a
was?
different name because he does it through a trust.
Magic Man Productions.
He's a criminal magician. He has to hide his identity.
Well, he's also very savvy when it comes to tax purposes.
Ooh, yeah.
Piece of shit.
Like a meth head magician.
All right, so we played bad movie lines yesterday. Mug Club, you want to play a game? You want to play a game?
Yes.
I said,
Oh, don't
What
do
you
it.
saw?
want to play a game. Pokemon a racial slur.
would love to see RFK playing the guy from Saw.
I always forget
that happened.
the Pokemon in front of Auschwitz.
That was my favorite.
It's my favorite stinger of all time. And Mug Club says yes, they want to play a game. But
That is
like,
rough. That is rough.
A little, just a little bit.
But I stand by it. So
It's fair enough.
Too late.
every
now.
time I see it, I get a little feeling in my soul like, oh, all right. Well, we're already in it. So explain the rules, Toolman, for people who have not played this with us before.
All right, I'm gonna throw up some lower thirds that have a name on it, and y'all have to guess if it is a Pokemon or it's a racial slur.
All right. Okay. And of course, I am the world champion.
You're not.
I've yet to be dethroned. Let's see. Why do you have a white glow? Is there breaking news?
No. My monitor came on. And
Oh, okay. I apologize. All right.
I'm coming for.
Yes, I know you are.
Yes, you know.
Coming for
I'm
this.
coming for that belt,
Hey,
baby.
for this?
Remember when we
Yeah.
tied yesterday?
No, you lost by.
I don't
half a
remember
point.
that at all.
I
actually.
remember it.
I remember tying with
I remember-
Steven.
yeah, yeah.
And I remember you getting half a point.
I tied.
And when it's a tie, you obviously respect, because if it's a tie, it goes to the champion.
That's true.
You have
It's
to
not
beat,
true.
to be the champion, you have to beat the champion.
Yes.
But Gerald's not even close.
Nope.
Yeah, he lost by a half point.
You lost by half.
Right.
I'm not even sure you're the champion. Boo.
Well, you don't pay attention to the show. I should fire you. So, what are you doing? You don't remember? You were there. You lost.
Like he doesn't watch.
It's like he doesn't even watch.
No, you just cheat every time.
What are you on
That's my
ayahuasca
point.
when you're sitting in here? You're somewhere else. All right.
I hear sour grapes. That's
Yes, that's exactly. It's fair. Yeah, that is.
World's smallest violin. Yeah, I've heard that one. I've heard that one before, Steven.
Did you ever see Tito Ortiz when he tried to trash talk somebody?
Did you do that?
He goes, yeah, all I hear when he talks is he's whining so much there's a violin for once with that wine. Someone bring up Tito Ortiz. Trash talk.
Oh, man.
It was something where he says cheese and wine and it makes no sense.
sense at all.
It's really pretty tough.
I feel like him today, but I haven't had as many concussions.
Yeah, I feel like it. And the worst part is he was kind of a fan. Like, remember when he ripped our whole Kung Flu fighting video and he just put it up on Instagram?
Oh, that's cool.
I was like, well, that's kind of cool, but like you didn't give like any attribute. You like just re-uploaded it. You could have just shared our post.
Yeah,
And
easier that way.
he's just a weird dude, Tito Ortiz.
Come on, Tito. Tito!
Biggest
He wanted
head.
to say he did it.
Yeah, I know.
Look at this great parody.
Yeah, look at this great parody that I made. Yeah, come on, you need some cheese with that. You're gonna whine about your violin.
Yeah, we're sour grapes
Yeah.
over
All right.
doing something.
Let's do the first one. Pokemon or racial slur.
All right, number one. Squawkabilly.
What?
My favorite rock genre.
Squawkabilly.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. It's done by real big Nazis.
Yeah. Squawk. What animal makes a squawk? I know that word.
Squawkabilly.
Squawk.
Okay, so here's the thing. I'm going to answer it just to be clear. This isn't taken out of context. Most people would say some form of a bird. If it's a racial slur, Jew.
Aha.
I'm not sure that's accurate.
I said
you
if
know
you're-
what?
You have to put yourself in someone else's shoes. I'm not saying I like it, putting myself in a neo-Nazi shoes. It's like the Cell, where I have to go into their mind
but that's-
in order to defeat the criminal.
I think Steven wrote the questions.
No, I guarantee this was.
Not
What do you think?
entirely
Pokemon or racial slur? I'll go with you, Gerald, first today.
I'm thinking that's a racial slur.
You think it's a racial
Yeah, I
slur?
do. Yeah.
Okay, why? Well, no, well,
It.
because
Yeah,
I don't.
I'll
we'll
explain
get
it
it.
later. Yeah.
No, you know what? Let's just do it. Give your justification.
Have you said it yet?
Everyone has to say it, so this is like Blood Brothers.
Squawkabilly.
Squawkabilly.
It's a racial directed at white country folk. Maybe
White country
not Miss country folk.
Interesting.
What do you think? The word
Yeah,
is
I don't
Josh.
know.
Squawkabilly.
Squawkabilly.
I think squawkabilly is a racial slur because.
Don't copy me. Oh.
Well, I'm not copying. I have different.
He hasn't given
I
his
have-
answer.
I have better reasons because because I've
kinda-
met racist people before, and I think they're talking about like their loudmouth something. They're calling them a loudmouth something, and there might be something to this white thing that you got, Gerald. But I definitely think it's a racial slur. It's somebody who's loud. It's a loud hillbilly, is what I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's so Squawkabilly.
You can't
You know?
say it's copying. It's like
If
Gerald's
something
gonna
a
have
black
like
person
2
would say
plus
about a white person.
2 plus 2 is 4. You go, yeah, because well, don't copy me. Don't say 4. I said 4.
Yeah.
In my opinion, it's 4. It's not your opinion, Gerald.
4.
All right, Squawkabilly. So I have to be the tiebreaker, though I do appreciate you showing your work. I'll just say I think it's probably a racial slur, but I'll say Pokemon because the truth is it's a 50-50 shot. This is a game of chance. Yeah. All right. What's
If
the
it's
answer?
a Pokemon, it better have a pompadour. I'm telling you right now.
I would hope so too. Yeah. Also, Huey Lewis, huge penis.
Right.
Was his penis called the news?
Yeah, I played it out with you. All right.
Have you heard the news?
Yeah, it's just.
Let me share the news.
All right.
All right.
And the answer is.
The answer is
It's a Pokemon.
What? That's Pikachu.
Well, I know, but you're going to show us the Pokemon.
yes.
right?
The
All right.
Pokemon is this.
It's kind of got a pompadour.
It does have a pompadour. Did you know that?
No, it looks like it looks like a testicle.
Yes.
But no, I did
It's
not know that.
1/3 of the news.
I really just it did sound like something a black person would say about a hillbilly.
It does.
I thought it was.
It does.
Yeah.
Seems the
Hey,
favorite one.
this lady's face on CNN is Lemony Snicket's. All right.
Oh, gross.
Thoughts and prayers.
That's a.
That is a series of misfortunate events.
Yes. Every angle with her is a Dutch angle. Let's grab another Pokemon or racial slur. Number 2.
All right, next one. Googus.
Uh-oh.
Wait, are you sure that's how it's pronounced?
No.
Can someone tell us, is it Goo Goos? Goo Gus?
Goo Goos. I think it's Goo
Gugus or
Goos.
Gugus?
Gugus.
It's a Guggus.
Can someone let us know? I mean, I don't know. Am I does anyone look at that and know exactly how to pronounce it? Maybe someone in chat?
Guggus?
Goo Goos?
Guggus?
Goo Goos.
Goo Goos?
Goo Goos.
Oh, well, I'll have to go with racial slur.
Yeah, because it sounds plural.
Yeah.
Ooh, there's a couple Pokemon that have plural sounding name. I'm gonna go with racial slur also
Yeah.
because of the plural.
Yeah, and I would imagine it's directed at Asians.
I would too.
Yeah.
I'm going with Pokemon because I think they want to think that the next one's going to be a racial slur, but it's not. It's not.
And it makes me think that the writers of Pokemon are racist.
That
They
also
most
could
definitely
be-
are.
Yeah.
We didn't control for that.
They're
we
Asian,
really
though.
didn't.
Yes, they're Asian. It's okay. You seen their billboards?
No.
They had in Japan. It was Bob Sapp, and they had him like selling a sex toy. And of
I
course,
thought for sure I'd have a ticket.
sex toy. And he's on a billboard just eating a bunch of bananas. Like, oh, Shirigurita.
All right.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
Oh look, it's a King Kong.
Yeah, no, King Kong.
King Kong with a King Dong.
Yes.
What about the commercial where she pushes them in the washing
Yeah,
machine?
that was
My goodness.
All right, let's get going, guys.
They're fascinated.
I didn't know bleach worked like that.
Yeah.
They are fascinated over there with Black Americans.
With racism.
I don't think they hate them. I just think they're okay treating them. I just think they're okay othering a giant black man from America. And they don't even think.
They're fascinated.
Yeah, they're like, no, hey, this is racist. No. Bigger black man, 330 pounds. Fascinating.
Time out. There's a sentence, they're okay treating them.
Poorly.
Okay,
Yes.
fine. Yeah, that's where we were going to go.
I guess Bob Sapp's okay with it too.
Yeah, Bob Sapp.
He's like,
Bob
I'm
Sapp.
They're
He was
paying me.
yeah, Bob Sapp was like a legitimate fighter, and then he got his orbital bone broken once, and all he started doing was taking dives.
Yeah.
Because like he literally would go in and in 13 seconds fall and tap and collect his check.
They paid me 30 million yen. That was great.
Like, sir, you can buy 4 candy bars. Shit.
Oh, man. How about some sushi?
Bob Sapp was a monster. He was like 330 pounds.
Yeah.
You can see the scar on his back. Was run over by a semi-truck. That guy was a tough dude, man. And power slammed by Bob Sapp. We'll bring it up. Goo Goo's racial.
It's fucking
You
downtown.
don't have respect for the law.
Oh, this
Here's
guy's
an
broke down here on the
explanation.
road.
It's a racial term used to refer to Philippines.
Get 2. So 2, 3, 0.
Sweet.
That seems fair.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the-
Yeah.
right, so-
Shut up, Goo Goo. Now let's grab the least applicable racial slur.
Gerald's also the biggest man in here.
A large Filipino.
Yes, it very much is. He doesn't carry a butterfly knife; it's just a giant sword. Let's, which he calls the news. Let's grab the pile driving from Bob Sapp on No Gear. This happened.
I think it says like,
Oh god. Oh. And then some side shots to boot. Jeez.
Watch this again, if I remember correctly.
attacked by a bear. It was like,
And Bob Sapp lifts him. That ungodly strength picks him up.
That's a 240-pound man.
Pile driver. Oh! He actually landed him on his shoulder and his head.
And by the way, Nogueira was doing things properly. Anyone who's a wrestler out there, like he maybe didn't do it fully, but teach you. Oh, by the way,
He didn't get deep enough.
no, but still, takedown defense could be a pile driver. No one teaches you.
Especially if at 240 pounds, because the leverage that you have to create to lift somebody that's got their legs and the rest of their body out, like, holy crap.
He did not have proper leverage points, and he didn't have a willing actor getting in position for him.
Got it.
And he still got it.
Just dropped the guy on like his side. He's nailed
On his head.
neck and shoulder.
Nogueira won, but they both went to the ICU.
Wow.
It was a crazy, crazy fight.
Was there a round two?
A
second?
Well, Pride had one 10-minute round, which was just ungodly difficult.
Yeah.
No break. So that
Pride
was...
is the superior form of UFC in a lot of ways. The north-south thing that they got rid of, that I understand.
Yeah, they allowed soccer kicks. So in other words, someone could be down, and you could just kick him, stomp him in the face.
Oh,
Yeah, there would be guys like who would grab, like Vanderlei Silva, the shoot box. They would grab they learned how to grab the ropes and use the bounce and stomp a guy's face. Beat him. Yeah, but they didn't allow elbows.
Yeah, Fight Club where he wants to destroy things.
Yeah,
it's about like that.
Yep, it was pretty fascinating. And by the way, just riddled with corruption. The Yakuza ran it, and the UFC bought it, and the Yakuza basically sold them a company that was worth nothing because no one broadcast it because of
If you want it, they also sent a ground and pound from the same fight.
Oh, okay, from Bob Sapp?
Yeah.
And again, Bob Sapp had no experience. He was just crazy, big, and strong. Okay, that's cool. Look at the size difference. And Nogueira is a little bigger than Gerald. Jeez. Think about that. He's getting manhandled.
And that guy won.
Yeah.
You just quit at that point.
Well, he won.
He armbarred him. He won.
Crazy. That's the thing you show your kids. Look here, kids. This daddy getting his ass totally beat.
Yep.
Throwing around. I won that fight.
I did.
Should have seen the other guy.
He has the biggest balls on the planet. He does. He did the teabag maneuver, which is just not.
Did they find the Tito Ortiz cheese and wine?
Yeah, they've got that too.
Oh, okay. Let's bring that up. That's fun. That's a really, really rough one. Yeah.
Jealous of him. This guy couldn't put fucking six together there. Are you kidding me right now? He's reaching for those grapes. He's trying to make his wine, and the wine's already sounding like a violin with that cheese and wine.
What? The black guys
can't even put a sentence together.
All right, let's go on. We have one more Pokemon or racial slur.
All right, here it is.
Better be a racial slur.
Guzzlord.
There's no good answer.
There really
Guzzlord. Oh boy.
Josh, I'll let you go first.
I follow this profile on OnlyFans.
Yes.
And no.
And this person caught them all, by the way.
Yeah. Got them all. They got gonorrhea, syphilis, AIDS, all of it.
Attaboy.
Their blood work just came back.
Dude, I don't. This is hard. God, the Lord.
That's what she said.
No, that's what I am. I'm gonna go with Pokemon.
Because it's so egregious?
Because it just seems like a language barrier thing. Like
Yes.
The Lord of Guz.
Yes. I rule over land of Guz.
I'm gonna go with Pokemon for Guzzler.
Everything you see
Lord Guz.
in Guz is my
guzzle.
kingdom.
The Lord of Guzzling.
Yes.
Yes, I'll guzzle anything you give me.
Yes.
Put it down my throat, thank you.
That's how you know you're royalty.
Feels good on the tongue.
Yes. What did you think he was referring to? Get your mind out of the gutter, you loser of games. What do you think? Pokemon?
I'm going with it's a racial slur.
You think it's a racial slur?
What is it, Gerald? What is it? Can you read it
It's
for us? I
racist
forgot.
against white suburban women, okay?
No, it is not.
Gerald,
No, it is not.
Did Gerald say the word?
He hasn't said the word. I thought I did Guzzlord.
Because Lord being the word.
Not Guz understudy. Guzzlord.
Okay.
By the way, in case you didn't notice, the
Guzzlord?
the Pikachu tail.
It could be Guz as well.
Did you notice the Pikachu tail?
Ah!
Oh, I did not notice that.
Whoa.
Goodness gracious.
I just, I want people to appreciate we make it fun.
I love it.
Guzzlord, I am going to say, well, here's the thing. What do I think? The main purpose here is to block out Joe. It's a racial slur.
Right.
I think it probably is. but I'm going to,
This
just in
was 5
case,
points,
just
but-
as a shutout. You can get the return. You just look at making up.
We did this yesterday.
You can't just change the amount of points per question by question base.
Right. We all know that round 2 is worth 2 points.
Yes.
2-2. That makes sense.
And then
round
3
three
goes
is
back to
round
1.
3 is 1 for me.
But it had half a point yesterday, so I'm a little inconsistent.
Well, you didn't carry the 1.
Different game.
That was a different
This is
game.
Pokemon versus racial slur or whatever. That was bad movie lines.
Yeah, he goes to where people playing catchphrase. He's like, yeah, but in Yahtzee, we don't care.
Yeah, he's like, they're like, flag on the play. He's like, well, it wasn't strike 3.
Yeah. What are you talking about?
Yeah, what?
I'll say Pokemon just because it seems as though it's probably a racial slur, but I want to shut it.
I want to know if it is a racial slur. I can't wait to find out which race is known for guzzling.
Yeah.
I don't think it is.
All right, what is the answer, Tool Man? It is.
Hoped against hope.
We have a video of the Pokemon.
Let's see it.
I do not want to be guzzed by that. Oh my.
Can you imagine having the video of the racial slur? It wouldn't work.
Play that again. Guzzlord is just yelling, "In my mouth!"
Like a totem pole brought to life.
Josh, I have to admonish you. There is no language barrier. They call that Guzzlord with purpose. We'll name a Pokemon. We'll name a Pokemon Guzzlord. But what would he do? Ha!
They should have given it nice lips, though. They should have given it nice juicy lips.
Japan is a weird place. He got 0 points.
0 points.
I got all the points, but I got 4.
Yes.
And Josh got 3.
I came here with 3. I'm proud of 3.
It's a goose egg.
I like my silver medal.
Mhm.
I'd like to thank God for this one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I would like to thank the Lord of Gods. Pokemon or racial slur.
Nice bet.
That was Noodles picking that clip. He's like, yeah, I want to pick this clip, this part to play.
Oh, there.
Yes.
So good.
There have been a litany of mistakes that have been leading to this point in my life.
I love them.
And people are like, I wouldn't change a thing. No, I'd change some things. I changed some things.
If I was a Pokemon trainer and they said, you gotta fight Guzzlord, I'd be like,
Yes.
I choose you.
Yeah. What's Guzzlord's his primary weakness?
That's Jinx? Was that one of the...
Yeah, it's like, was it
That's one of the originals.
like water beats fire Pokemon. Guzzlord is defeated by chastity. All right, let's grab some chats.
All right, from Skinny Mike 19 for the crew. What is the deal with the judge in Illinois offering Second Amendment protections to illegal aliens? How does this even get off the ground? Josh, thank you for your service.
Thank you for service.
Or thank you for servicing.
Oh, hey.
Whoa.
Hey.
That's incorrect.
That's incorrect.
Guzzler.
We thank him for his service. What is it?
I'm not familiar with this.
I'm not familiar with a definitive protection of the Second Amendment only to illegal immigrants in Illinois. Can someone let me know? Because Illinois is not known for Second Amendment protections.
Yeah, that would be very
Yeah.
unlikely.
And we're pretty up to date on these things, so this makes me think, again, I could be wrong, makes me think that there's probably something circulating that is less than accurate. That would be
We'll come
my
back to
guess.
it. Let's see what our researchers say.
Yeah. Maybe there was some kind of an individual case where the alien used a firearm to protect themselves and a judge ruled that they had the right to. I don't know, but I do not know of a law in Illinois that offers Second Amendment protections exclusively to undocumented immigrant, which is how they would call it, class.
Ginger's looking into it right now.
There was a ruling. Give a quick brief here in a second.
Oh, okay. All right. Let's grab another chat and we'll go back to it.
Yeah, from CM Fuller. If the court denies Texas its rights, do you think Abbott, law enforcement, and Texans will continue to disregard and continue?
Absolutely.
Yes, that is the absolute place. And look, I understand that the Constitution gives this right to the federal government, but they're abdicating their responsibility. They're actively refusing to do the job. And so somebody has to step in. And if I was Greg Abbott, I'd be like, I'm doing this until you come and stop me.
Yep.
Until you send troops down to physically wheel me away from the border. I was going to say prime me away, but I have to go with wheel. Like, seriously, I think he absolutely should make this a line in the sand, and he will not back down to the federal government, to the point that the federal government has to send troops if they must.
Yep.
Like,
There is a
the
line in
court's
the
ought to
sand.
rule on it.
We need a fence.
Yeah, I mean, it's the most moronic thing I've ever seen, where it's like, well, the court rules, and so they start taking down the only barrier that has stopped people from coming in.
Yeah.
It's beyond me how this is even possible.
Governor Abbott, lock in your wheels, sir.
That's right. Somebody get the little chalk, the wheel chalks, the things that keep the planes from rolling. We need that for him.
Yep. They will pry this from your cold, dead, non-functioning feet.
Well, you don't hold things.
Let's grab. Chimpanzees do.
That's true.
But he doesn't because he's in a wheelchair.
Yes.
So
I think he hitches a trailer to that thing.
I'm sure that's the only reason he does it.
you have huge triceps.
Yeah, that's true. He would.
Grab another chat, then I'll go to that Illinois building because I'm curious.
Yes. From Superdope 94, question for Crowder: would the justice system be considered treasonous if they don't do anything about criminal aliens killing American citizens, but charging American citizens for crimes against criminal aliens?
Well, this is kind of a if this then that. In a case, as far as in a court of law, you would have to prove that they're definitively enforcing it one way because of citizenship status, which would basically be impossible because I guarantee you there will be other cases in the thousands of cases of murders that take place where there will be a legal citizen killing an undocumented immigrant and vice versa. So it's just not a case that you can make. Now, do I think that it's treasonous overall to not enforce our own laws, certainly as it relates to border security? At a certain point, yes, I do. I think when it's over 7.5 million under the Biden regime, yeah, I do think so, because this is actively acting against the best interests of American citizens. But I would always caution people against trying to use an argument that relies on something being entirely consistent, which occurs nowhere in nature when you're looking at numbers this large, when you're looking at violent crimes. So you would have to include assault, you would have to include murders, probably armed robbery. If there is only a handful of examples of citizens being, let's say, defended by courts in protecting themselves from undocumented immigrants, well, your case doesn't hold water, it'll get thrown out. Or if there are any cases of illegal immigrants killing American citizens and facing the same criminal penalties as you would expect, the case gets thrown out. So I would say when you try and craft these arguments, think of presenting it in court, and that wouldn't hold up. But the principle of it being treasonous, I agree. Yeah.
I don't even know that that's even something that happens at all, period. I mean, because the killer of Lakeland Riley is being tried. Right. We're not just sending these people back. Like, some of the sanctuary laws are for kind of minor issues, right, or relatively minor issues.
Well, there are some things that are being tried, but they're not being charged.
Right.
Like I mentioned yesterday, that thing happened in Chicago.
Yes.
Where witnesses were afraid. They had the only evidence they had. The best evidence they had was a witness that was afraid to talk because they.
Well, no, that's understandable, but it's not the legal system saying,
Right.
no, we're not going to bring charges against this person because they're illegal.
And you have examples of that with, for example, catch and release in New York.
Yeah.
Catch and
because of
Yeah.
they would just say, well, look,
Fucking
the
rocks.
Americans have these same protections depending on the $995 discount in San Francisco.
Yeah.
So there would be too many examples to point to, and then of course it would come down to whether it's a state case, whether it's a federal case. So it wouldn't work in a court of law, but I agree with the principle. Let's grab another chat unless we have the briefing on the Illinois ruling. Okay.
So from Decent Question Asker, question: do you think the left will realize the SCOTUS border decision makes their administration look bad and decide to back off, or will they try to abuse power and overturn the decision?
Hold on a second. Let me read that again, because again, do you think the left will realize that this border decision makes their administration look bad and decide to back off? Well, they haven't made a decision yet.
Right.
So I guess I'm confused by the question. They have not made a decision yet.
I mean, the only decision they made was a decision on the stay, that the administrative stay has to be adjudicated by the lower court.
Right, which is effectively making a decision that we are not going to make a decision right now. So I don't understand the question. Decide not to decide. And I'm doing that just because I want all of us to again, craft our arguments and rationalize our position in a way that would stand up to Don Lemon sitting there right now. And he would just say, well, the Supreme Court didn't make a decision. And that would be a factual statement. And so the rest of the argument, you pull up that one thread, and the rest of the argument fails to stand. We'll grab one more chat and then the ruling, guys.
All right. Cozy Gaming Mom. Cool name. Question for the crew: do you think the lowered standards in healthcare are contributing to the recent switch we have cultural to conservatives becoming more crunchy, more of a crunchy, health conscious people we used to laugh at the left for?
Well, they didn't do it yet, right? They said they were considering it.
Right.
Considering getting rid of test scores and stuff. But they didn't actually do it yet, right?
No, they've been pushing it, like we said, with the American Medical Association. I think so. If I understand what you're saying, is you have Americans, for example, now conservative Americans who have mistrust in the pharmaceutical industry, whereas once upon a you would think of hippies wearing patchouli, granola, right? They were the people who mistrusted the medical establishment, and generally conservative Americans supported Western medicine. I think most conservatives out there support modern medical innovation and think that Western medicine has been far more effective, for example, than chewing on Ashtanga root. But my position hasn't changed, where drugs are tools, and some of them are useful tools, and some of them are not. I think the major change in COVID and the vaccine and trying to force people to use it. For example, I don't know of many conservatives who have a problem with people choosing to take the vaccine. I support the idea of accelerating an Operation Warp Speed. But again, I think that if there's a drug out there that's experimental, and you, for example, are facing terminal cancer, but it hasn't been approved, you should have the right to take that drug if you accept the risk. The issue is the lying about it and trying to mandate that people take a risk when we don't really know. We don't really know the totality of that risk at this point. So, yeah, I understand your point, but I think it's kind of, you're kind of, I mean, it's a confluence of things. Generally speaking, yeah, in the past you would think hippies, and now I guess you might have some people. Don't allow them to walk you into, hey, it used to be the left who were anti-vaccine. Well, that's not what conservatives are. It's not. They're not being anti-vaccine. It's not Jenny McCarthy. They're anti-mRNA injection. So I think it's important to
there you go.
And if you are that way and you're anti-vaccine across the board, then go ahead. I mean, I don't agree that there's no validity to any vaccines. That's not my position. But I don't think that that's the mainstream view of a lot of conservatives. I think it really can be distilled down to choice. The issue that we have is choice. Is choice. Something when we talk about allowing insurance across state lines. It's choice. Choice, like HSA accounts. It's choice. Direct relationships between patients and doctors, right? Different healthcare plans that allow you to pay cash when you want to, as opposed to having to go through the inflated costs of insurance companies. It's choice. I think that's the primary difference. And
I'm gonna do something from the desktop. So hey, bro,
enter the equation, so it may appear as though
I'm gonna do a desktop stream.
More crunchy.
I'll get into it more. I really held off.
Hey, we want the choice. I want the choice.
Discussing yesterday earlier.
Vitamins and supplements, or take prescription drug.
So I wouldn't have to repeat myself, but
and being an experimental trial, if I so choose, or not. I want the choice of doctor. And having a relationship with them or not. I want the choice of insurance.
There's a lot of nuance, but actually, it was. To be honest, it was a fucking clown show. It was pretty funny. I mean, working as an election,
and then as it relates to
a poll election official,
they don't believe in school choice. They don't believe
definitely
in insurance choice. They don't believe in
renewed my resolve.
Do not believe in vaccine.
That voting doesn't mean shit. Even though, you know what? I will say Ohio's voting system is very secure. I will say that. Except for the mail-in ballots.
With the mRNA injection.
Take away, the mail-in ballots, obviously. Yeah, it's a clown show.
Your position. Make sure you clarify. Don't allow them to paint you as some crazy conspiracy theorist who doesn't believe in modern medicine. What they're trying to do. Oh, homeschooling? So let me guess, you just want to teach them creationism and abstinence only? That's not what we're talking about with homeschooling. No.
Drilling.
Don't let them back you into a corner because they're constantly trying to portray you as an extremist. Why? Because in fact they are extremists.
I don't even know where the Republicans or conservatives being crunchy or granola comes from. I don't think of that when I think of like conservative viewpoints.
I mean, I think there's having
there you go.
Peter McCullough on the show. He's a doctor.
Yeah, but that's not a crunchy granola kind of thing. Like that is like, hey, I'm going to be a fruitarian or something like that, and whatever, and then you kind of run off there. I know that a lot of conservatives are becoming much more independent-minded. Like, okay, we've always been for limited government, and now the government continues to overreach, and need to be more prepared for if in fact they ever overreach enough. And I'm gonna kind of have.
They virtually already have.
And do my thing out here, but that's not. Really granola crunchy like Oregon kind of thing.
No,
in my mind. I mean, that was in your neck of the woods where that stuff really, like California, and like that's what I think of.
Yeah, I mean, what would be granola or crunchy about saying no?
I'm not going to say literally, but virtually.
But ivermectin. That's not that's
something used
that's not
for
shunning
decades.
modern medicine. That's taking into account the risk-reward ratio.
Yeah.
I think that's very different from saying no, no vaccines whatsoever, no antibiotics ever. Just take cherry juice.
I mean, it could work.
It could work.
How about leeches?
I mean, we said, for example, we did this when we had
My house.
Detroit, and then we had I don't remember. It wasn't Dr. McCall. We had him on early too. But we had another doctor where we said, look, with COVID, because at this point there were no options. This would have been in March, I believe.
Dude,
Zinc
seriously?
quercetin to make the zinc bioavailable. This is well proven in studies, right? I'm not saying that it cures anything. It can.
Man, right down the middle of the road. I understand a little bit of fucking room on his side, but jeez.
Because it used to be a prescription for lung dysfunction, and then of course the FDA said it wasn't permitted as a supplement after we covered it. And we talked about Clear, the X-Clear nasal spray, because it reduces, again, viral load in your nasal cavity. And I will tell you this happens all the time. We have many people this week who've been missing from the office because they're sick. I have family members who are sick, where it's led to stroke.
Yeah.
You've heard this that I've had in my chest, but I've gotten zero congestion here in my, and that has happened consistently with these waves going around because I clean my nose every day. And it does reduce the viral load. It doesn't mean that you're going to inhale air, some of it through your mouth.
Right, yeah.
But there's a big difference if there's a 90%, say, reduction in viral load.
Yes,
your body can only fight off. You know, there's a cap to how much you can fight off. And we said early on. So these are measures that you can take along with diet, exercise, sleep. I don't think that's granola to say before you just go and ask for a pill, make sure your diet and exercise are in check. That's something that everybody should do, especially if you're talking about opposing socialized healthcare. Right? They want you to pay for the 350-pound, 5-foot nothing land whale and say that it's brave, big, and beautiful. I think that you need to take ownership over your own health. So I think it's a very different perspective than, oh, no medicine, I'm going to solve it by
Oh, look, an electric Hummer.
smoking weed. And there are people who've actually done that. There was a man who died of AIDS. He thought he could fix it by smoking weed.
And to alleviate some of that viral load, you could also call Lord.
Yes.
Help you out.
You've had a long
Talk about driving down the road saying, I'm better than you.
Let's grab the, what is the Illinois situation? You have this.
I have this to go along. No. Okay,
What's he
well,
dragging
that's
under his
done.
car?
Yeah.
You see
Let's
that?
need a summary.
Read those three hits.
Let me see. So there was a ruling, but okay. So
What's that?
reasoning. One
box?
Constitution applies to everyone, not just citizens. To the illegal.
Yeah, he's got a
status
big
of
box
entry
dragging
is not
underneath
enough
his
of a
car.
Crime in and of itself to be grounds automatically disarm illegal immigrants. Really? That was a part of this? Let me read it again because this is stupid. The illegal status or entry is not enough of a crime in and of itself to be grounds to automatically disarm an illegal immigrant.
But didn't the question argue?
Well, then Barnes & Noble better lift their ban of me because it's been too long.
Yeah, I know. How long has it been?
Illinois.
3.5 years.
That's too long. 3.5 years too long. The question, though, I think was saying
A stroller?
offering, Illinois offering second amendment.
Oh, you made my morning dirty.
Offering not just to illegal aliens, but to them in general. So
Yeah.
the judge, number 3, the Illinois judge granted a motion to dismiss Flores' illegal.
All right, guys, I'm going to try and get it set up as fast as possible. It's going to be busy. I don't know how much attention I'm going to be able to pay to the stream, but I will. We'll be doing one from the desktop.
Just because he's here illegally.
I'll see you in a little bit. Hopefully I'll get it up quick.
That is the law.
Peace.
Of Illinois. That's a ruling there which sets